Hello and welcome back. This is Digvijay Chikara and you're listening to World's Greatest Speeches. Hope you are all doing good and maintaining social distance, wearing masks. Corona is still here, stay safe. So today we are going to talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Indian politician renowned for flawless and instant articulation. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the 10th Prime Minister of India, a leader of Bharatiya Janata Party. He was the first non-Congress PM to serve a full 5-year term. On his 19th birthday, the President of India announced the Bharat Ratna Award, India's highest civilian honor, to Vajpayee. His birthday, a Christmas day, was also declared as Good Governance Day. Let us translate into our own conduct the discipline of our defense forces. You are well aware of the situation which was developed in Kargil. It is a serious situation. It is a situation fraught with danger. It is a situation that has arisen from one simple fact: the decision of Pakistan to cross line of control, to send its men and material to occupy and territory. No government can tolerate such an intrusion. Our government certainly will not. Countries the world over have recognized that have the full right to evict these intruders from our soil. But for me and for my government, this is not just a matter of having a tithe. It is our duty to rid our sacred motherland of every single intruder. For this reason, as you have seen, our armed forces have launched a major operation to drive them back. No one should entertain these slight doubt. They shall not stop till they have completely attained their objective. No one shall stop them till they have done so. You know well that our relations with Pakistan, as with all other neighbors, were improving rapidly. The prime ministers and other ministers of the two countries were in regular contact. Dialogue among officials of the two countries were proceeding constructively and satisfactorily. Areas of cooperation had been identified and at various levels, plans were afoot to work together on each of them. Most important, people-to-people contact with exchange had opened as never before in 50 years. There had been an outpouring of goodwill on both sides. In the midst of all this, regulars of Pakistan Army and infiltrators have been sent across. Fomenting insurgencies here was heinous enough. But this time, army regulars have been sent. They have been sent to occupy our territory, and having occupied it, to choke off our links with other parts of our country, in particular with Siachen and Ladakh. This step has been taken after a great deal of preparations. It was a pre-planned operation. It is a repudiation of the letter and spirit of the Lahore Declaration. It is a violation not just of one article of Shimla Agreement, but an eightfold violation of that Solomon Agreement. The Shimla Agreement binds each side to respect the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and independence of the other. The clause repeatedly enjoins that neither side shall use the threat of forces or forces to affect the territorial integrity of the other. The agreement deals specifically with the line of control. It lays down that the line of control resulting from the cease of fire of December 17, 1971 shall be respected by both sides. Furthermore, that neither side shall seek to alter it unilaterally. The agreement goes a step ahead that India wants peace. We are at peace with all other neighbors of ours. We are taking major steps with Pakistan also towards undoing the 50 years history of bitterness. Our people desire it. Our government is committed to it. We have traveled quite some distance for it. I remain confident that people of Pakistan too yearn for peace and harmony. They know the possible costs of hostilities, of how these will push economic gains even further beyond the horizon. They know that in today's world, whoever launches aggressions of any kind will get isolated in international community. Moreover, both India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. Our responsibilities in this regard are all greater. Therefore, I once again urge the government of Pakistan undo armed intrusion. We must hope, my countrymen, that even now reason will prevail, that those within Pakistan who see the folly of aggression will have their way. But till that happens, we have a job on our hands. Our first thought and our last thought must be for our Jawans, for our airmen and our officers who are fighting back that intruders. I want each one of them to know the entire country stands with you. Every Indian is grateful to you. The whole operation has been thrust upon us. To ensure victory, you would not be wanting in your requirements. Our Jawans and officers are laying down their lives. Should we be continuing our petty squabbles at such a time, we should stand by them and avoid unnecessary debates. Let us use this occasion to learn from our defense forces. Let us translate into our own conduct some of the discipline for which they are renowned. The whole world is watching how our brave armed forces are defending the motherland, inhospitable hilly terrains and at grave risks in their lives. In this hour of crisis, we must maintain the equanimity and act with confidence. We should not be disheartened by some momentary mishap. We must realize the gravity of the situation and emulate the fortitude with which our fighting men take such event in their stride. Have confidence in the ability of our armed forces. The armed forces shall accomplish this task and ensure that no one dare to indulge in this kind of misadventure in future. Jai Hind. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.